The Maxton Hall Season 3 trailer just changed everything we thought we knew. And if you think this season will be calm or predictable, you are completely wrong. Every single frame feels heavy, emotional, and dangerous, like the story is finally ready to expose secrets that have been buried since Season 1. From Ruby's shattered future to Mortimer's quiet but terrifying power moves, this trailer makes one thing clear. Season 3 is not about healing, it is about truth, consequences, and war. And once these truths come out, nothing in Maxton Hall will ever be the same again. Season 3 does not start with hope. It starts with damage. Ruby being expelled is not just a temporary obstacle, it is the foundation of everything that will go wrong next. The trailer makes it painfully clear that Mortimer is not done punishing her, because for him, destroying Ruby is the easiest way to control James. The problem is not only that the photo exists, but that the system already decided Ruby's guilt before she could even speak. Mortimer's reputation is so powerful that truth does not matter anymore, and that is exactly what makes this situation terrifying. Even if the photo was taken out of context, even if nothing inappropriate actually happened, the damage has already been done, publicly, emotionally, and legally. Ruby's name is stained, her future is questioned, and the school that once represented opportunity now represents humiliation. But what the trailer subtly hints at is something even bigger. Ruby's expulsion might actually be Mortimer's biggest mistake, because pushing Ruby out of Maxton Hall also pushes James closer to a breaking point. James is no longer the silent son who obeys. He is someone who has watched the person he loves lose everything because of his father. The tension we see in the trailer between James and Mortimer is not just anger, it is disappointment turning into rebellion. And this is where the truth about the photo becomes dangerous. Mortimer knows exactly how that photo was taken. He knows it came from James's phone, and he knows the real story behind it. That means the lie is not accidental, it is calculated. Someone will have to step forward and say out loud that the photo means nothing, that it was twisted on purpose, and that person can only be James. The trailer strongly suggests that James is finally ready to speak, not just for Ruby, but against his father. And once that happens, the power balance inside the family will collapse. Ruby's return to school will not be a victory. It will be a declaration of war. Because the moment Mortimer realizes he is losing control over his son, he will stop playing quietly. Ruby's expulsion is not the end of her story. It is the trigger that forces every hidden secret, every manipulation, and every crime to come closer to the surface. And this is only the first crack in Mortimer's empire. As the season moves forward, the trailer makes it clear that Mortimer's greatest fear is not exposure, but disobedience. The moment James stops following his rules, Mortimer's calm and calculated image begins to crack. What makes this collapse even more dangerous is that Mortimer does not lose control quietly. He reacts by tightening his grip on everyone around him. The trailer strongly hints that Mortimer discovers Lydia's pregnancy much earlier than expected, and this discovery completely shifts his priorities. For him, the pregnancy is not a family matter, it is a scandal, a weakness, and something that could destroy the perfect image he has built. Mortimer's reaction is cold, strategic, and ruthless because instead of protecting his daughter, he sees her as a liability. This is the point where Lydia stops being invisible. She is no longer just a victim of silence, she becomes a target. The emotional weight on Lydia in the trailer is heavy because she is forced to face consequences for a relationship she never got to openly defend. Mortimer's control over the twins' phones and personal lives turns into a weapon, and the knowledge he gains is used to isolate, threaten, and humiliate. What follows is not just an argument inside the house, but a complete breakdown of the family structure. James standing up for Lydia is not a heroic moment, it is a desperate one, because he knows that once he speaks, there is no going back. The trailer suggests that Mortimer gives them an ultimatum that changes everything, forcing the twins to choose between loyalty and freedom. This choice is not dramatic for the sake of drama. It is the moment where the twins officially become enemies of their own father. When they leave the house, they are not just walking away from luxury, they are walking away from protection, power, and safety. And this is exactly what Mortimer underestimates. He believes removing support will break them, but instead it frees them. Outside of his control, the twins finally start to connect the dots about Cordelia, the company, and the lies they have been raised with. The trailer quietly builds this tension by showing distance, silence, and unresolved grief, especially when Cordelia's name is mentioned. Her death is no longer a closed chapter, it becomes a question. And once that question is asked, Mortimer's entire world starts to shake. Because the twins may have lost their home, but they are about to gain something far more dangerous: the truth. As the search for the real Will intensifies, the trailer quietly pushes the story toward its most shocking and emotional possibility, a truth that could redefine the entire family. Percy is no longer just a side character with mysterious behavior. He becomes the center of unanswered questions. His connection to Cordelia feels deeper than friendship, and the way he reacts whenever her name is mentioned suggests love mixed with regret. The idea that Percy may have had a secret relationship with Cordelia suddenly feels less like speculation and more like a buried reality. If that relationship truly existed, it explains his loyalty, his silence, and his willingness to protect secrets that never belonged to Mortimer. The trailer hints that Percy carries guilt, not just for hiding the will, but for allowing Mortimer to rise using lies. This is where the most unsettling theory takes shape: the possibility that Percy is actually the biological father of James and Lydia. This revelation would not just shock the audience, it would emotionally destroy Mortimer, because everything he believes about his legacy would be false. The twins' kindness, empathy, and moral strength already feel disconnected from Mortimer's cruelty, and Season 3 seems ready to explain why. If Percy is their real father, then Mortimer's obsession with control becomes even more tragic and desperate. He would not be protecting his bloodline, he would be guarding a lie. For James and Lydia, this truth would be painful, but freeing. It would finally explain why they never felt safe in Mortimer's world, and why Cordelia's presence always felt like quiet protection. The trailer suggests that this truth will not come out gently. It will be exposed at the worst possible moment, when Mortimer is already losing everything else. And once this secret is revealed, there will be no emotional ground left for him to stand on. Family, power, and identity would all collapse at once. Percy's role in this moment is not heroic, it is tragic, because telling the truth means admitting years of silence and fear. But Season 3 makes one thing clear: some truths are too heavy to stay buried forever, and once they surface, they do not just change the future, they rewrite the past. As the season moves forward, the trailer makes it clear that Mortimer's greatest fear is not exposure, but disobedience. The moment James stops following his rules, Mortimer's calm and calculated image begins to crack. What makes this collapse even more dangerous is that Mortimer does not lose control quietly. He reacts by tightening his grip on everyone around him. The trailer strongly hints that Mortimer discovers Lydia's pregnancy much earlier than expected, and this discovery completely shifts his priorities. For him, the pregnancy is not a family matter, it is a scandal, a weakness, and something that could destroy the perfect image he has built. Mortimer's reaction is cold, strategic, and ruthless, because instead of protecting his daughter, he sees her as a liability. This is the point where Lydia stops being invisible. She is no longer just a victim of silence, she becomes a target. The emotional weight on Lydia in the trailer is heavy, because she is forced to face consequences for a relationship she never got to openly defend. Mortimer's control over the twins' phones and personal lives turns into a weapon, and the knowledge he gains is used to isolate, threaten, and humiliate. What follows is not just an argument inside the house, but a complete breakdown of the family structure. James standing up for